everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Go Green, Go Vegan with San Francisco Veg Society. It's our Earth Day celebration, and as I'm sure many of you know, the most effective thing we can do to protect our environment is to choose a plant-based diet and a vegan lifestyle. And San Francisco Veg Society is here to help everybody accomplish that transition. And today I would like to start our presentations off with Tomiko Garner. She is joining us fresh from her successful Vegan Curious Total Health Summit. Tomiko found her passion in sharing her vegan story with others. She's excited when somebody tries plant-based eating, even one plate at a time. She believes everyone has their own journey and should enjoy every step forward. Tomiko became a vegetarian over 30 years ago and has been plant-based vegan since 2016. She focuses on helping women of color who are starting lifestyle changes to fight diseases which disproportionately affect their community. You can follow Tomiko on social media at Plant-Based Vegan Sista, and you can check out her website, plantbasedvegansista.com. And I'm going to go ahead and get her cooking demo set up for you all. Hold on just a moment. And today we have kind of a mix of recorded cooking demonstrations and live cooking demonstrations. So if you have any questions during the presentations, whether they be recorded or live, please go ahead and drop those in the chat, and we will address them after each presentation. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hello, my name is Tomiko Garner, and I am your plant-based vegan sister who loves to keep it real and relatable, inspiring you to adopt a plant-based vegan way of eating, one little plate at a time. And I am excited today. It is the SF Vegetarian Society Earth Day celebration. Woo! And so I'm here today to, I'm going to show you how to veganize a dish. Now, how many of you have been to Fang Long or what's the other, Crustaceans? And if you've ever had their garlic noodles, well, my gosh, I used to love those garlic noodles. Now, I've made those garlic noodles, but not in a vegan way. So today, that's what I'm going to show you. It's a quick and easy meal to do and focus on how to veganize your meals. But I first want to start out and talk to you a little bit about my program that I have that's going to be launching and starting in May, like May 15th, I believe, or something like that, somewhere around that time. And the cart will open up at the end of this month. But it is the Vegan Curious Transition Program. I'm so excited. It's a 4-week program with like about 9 different modules. We're going to talk about reading labels. We are going to talk about setting up your kitchen for success, changing your mindset, setting out with the mindset. Because sometimes when we start out, we're not sure where to go, right? And you got to have that mindset. You got to have your why understood and know what you're doing, right? Know what you want to do. What is your purpose? Why you want to do this? We are going to talk about what does it mean in dispelling those myths, because there are so many myths that are going on. So we're going to continue talking. I'm going to tell you a few more things about that. But first, let me tell you what I got here. So come over here and take a look at my cutting board, my mise en place. And I've got, and this is really a simple dish. It really, really is. I know this looks like a lot, but you can make this with as few ingredients as 4 or 5 ingredients. But I like to always do things, and I have this way of combining a couple of recipes to make one. So I'm combining a vegan recipe that I did see along with a non-vegan version. So that's what we're doing here, okay? So I am going to add to my dish some of this chicken here. This is a mock chicken. It's a soy chicken. And I'll tell you who that's by. It's by Soy Curls. Can you guys see that? It's Soy Curls. I don't know why, I never get that right. Soy curls, there you go, okay? So it's soy curls, and see, as you can see, it's dry, and then you soak it in water for a little bit to reconstitute them, okay? Then, of course, we've got our green onions here. Now, I separated the green part from the white part because what we're going to do is I'm going to cook them separately, okay? We've got some vegan butter here. Of course, I love to use Miyoko's vegan butter. I've got some vegan Parmesan cheese because what are garlic noodles without the Parmesan cheese? Of course. And then we've got a little bit of vegan oyster sauce, a vegan fish sauce, a little bit of soy sauce, garlic powder. Of course, we've got garlic, gotta have the garlic because they're garlic noodles. A little olive oil and just a tinge of sweet. And as you see, I have these chow mein noodles. Now, let me tell you, here's what my chow mein noodles are, okay? And the ingredients are whole wheat flour and water. Boom. So there are egg-free chow mein noodles that you can get. So when you get these noodles initially, what you do, I'm actually going to do this probably, yeah. So I have them soaking in water, as you can see. Now what I did was I did nuke them in the microwave for like a minute. And then I let them soak in this water. And so now I've got a pot of boiling water over here. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, first I'm going to drain this water out. Okay. Drain that out. And then I'm going to go ahead and pop these noodles in this pot. Now oops, I'm going to pop the noodles in that pot. Well, Tamiko, you can't put your hand in the pot of boiling water. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. Don't do that, okay? All right, so there, we're gonna let those cook for those are gonna cook for about 3 to 5 minutes. Meanwhile, we are now gonna go ahead and get our garlic sauce ready. So first I'm gonna go ahead and pour in, this is about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Now, if you want, you can make this oil-free, and you can use water if you like, okay? And then we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna throw in my garlic. Now this is probably gonna stew because yeah, I had it on for a while. So we're just gonna go ahead and let that sizzle just enough to let the flavor infuse in there. Okay. I'll turn this down, turn it down to as you can smell it, as you can see. Yeah, okay. Now we don't want them to get brown, so I don't want that to happen. I'm gonna go ahead and pop in, see it's already getting brown. I'm gonna pop in the white parts of the onions because I want them to cook a little bit. Okay, and then we're gonna throw in a little bit of that butter. Yep. Now you see how fast, you're gonna see how quick this is to cook. All right. We're just gonna go ahead and let that all melt on down. So like I was telling you about the program, okay? So we're gonna talk about what else we're gonna talk about with that. Oh my gosh, so many different things, you guys. So we're gonna have what you got in the kitchen, dispelling the myths, label reading, substitutions, right? Because we want to know what are some of the substitutions you're gonna meet, like meat substitutions, dairy substitutions, how you do egg substitutions when you're cooking. And then we're gonna do menu planning, and then finally we're gonna bring it all together with a live cooking session, okay? So it's a 4-week program, 30 days, and very reasonable. So if you are ready to make that transition, let's go ahead and do that. All right, so as you see, we've got our butter that's all melted in there with the olive oil. Now, this is not a dish. If you are trying to, this is definitely not something that you're gonna eat when I'm gonna go ahead and put this chicken in there. All right, not with the water, y'all. No. Okay, so what we want to do is I'm squeezing out the water here, as you can see. Squeezing that out because we want to get that all squeezed out, okay? Almost forgot to do that. All right, we'll squeeze that out, and then we're going to go ahead and pop that chicken in there. Now, usually with the garlic noodles, you don't put the chicken, but I felt like I wanted a little bit of chicken today. So that's why I'm putting that in there, all right? Because you know what, you can do whatever it is that you want to do because it's your meal. So make it what you want, all right? So we've got our garlic in there. We have our the white portion of the green onions. We have our mock chicken, soaking that all up. And the reason why I did that chicken is because I want that chicken to soak in all the flavors that we are about to put in there. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put in the garlic powder. Woo! That's about 2 tablespoons of garlic powder because we want this to be garlicky. Yummy, yummy, yum. And then we've got our vegan oyster sauce. So I'm gonna put that in there. That's about 1.5 tablespoons. I reduced it a little bit just because I'm putting in 1 tablespoon of this fish sauce. Okay. And then we've got a little bit of soy sauce. Now, in place of the soy, you can use a tamari or you can use a coconut aminos. It's totally up to you. Okay, and now we're going to see how that's going there. Let's see, we're going to check how our noodles are doing over here. Because we don't want them to, we just want them to cook for a few moments. But look how fast this cooked up. You see how fast this cooked up? I mean, my gosh. This is something that you can eat quick, fast, and in a hurry. Okay, quick meal. Oh man, yeah. So I'm going to show you guys. Show you, see how that's looking there. Okay, so I'm going to show you what. So in terms of the oyster sauce, this was the oyster sauce that I got. Okay, and then this is the. Of course, I had soy sauce. Usually, I use tamari or coconut aminos. Is usually what I use. But I had the soy sauce, and I didn't want to open up a new bottle. I just bought a bottle of that. Then see there, we've got vegan fish sauce. Now I'm going to keep this on hand because, of course, I'm going to be tasting it just to make sure that the flavors are all there, that it's got enough seasoning. Okay? And what I did, I put garlic on top of garlic. So I used a little garlic. This is Trader Joe's garlic infused olive oil. Okay, so that was cool. And then obviously we've got our garlic powder. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to top this. Oh no, I am going to top it off. And I showed you the soy curls and then the pepper. So we're going to sprinkle pepper on after the fact once we've got that all in there. And then we're going to, just for a little bit extra, I like a little red pepper. But I'm not going to put the red pepper in there until the noodles are all in there, because then that's just my flavor. Now, you don't have to do any of that at all. If you wanted to keep this really, really simple, all you needed to do was you just needed your noodles. You needed, let's see, a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of sweetener, okay? A little bit of sweetener, because to me, that's the kick. That is the secret sauce to this, okay? And then we're going to sprinkle it as when we're going to do our plating, we're going to sprinkle it with a little sesame seeds, okay? We're going to do that. And then, just for giggles, we might use one of these little sesame sauce. There's a hot sauce version, and then there's the toasted oil. So as you can see, you don't have to use all these things, but this is what I'm using because this is what I wanted to use. And then I got my little grater here so I can grate my cheese on there. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in this is a little bit of agave as a sweetener. Now, if you want as your sweetener, you can use, you don't have to use agave. You can use like a date sugar or a date syrup, or you can use a coconut sugar. So you can use either one of those, all right? And I think that our noodles, let's check them out over here. Let's see what we got. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, yeah. All right. So now we are going to drain our noodles. Okay. We're going to drain these noodles here, and we're going to be ready to go. We're going to pop them in there. Hold on just a second.
I have a question I want to ask them.
Yeah.
It's being recorded.
I'm so excited. Garlic noodles, garlic noodles. Woohoo! Okay. You see how fast this is getting cooked, right? Look at that. There's
It's
our
being recorded.
That's fine. I thought you were putting it in the chat.
all in there. Woo! All right. Now let's we're gonna turn this all up and around. Now, because I put in that sauce, I'm probably going to, more than likely, I'm going to add more seasoning because to me that does not, oops, that was a hot mess. Hey, y'all. I wish y'all could taste this. Oh, that little piece of chicken on point. That was on point. And you're probably wondering, okay, Tamika, what are you going to do? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then we're going to, oh, this is going to be so good, you guys. But we're going to have to add more to this because it needs more. And you notice you didn't put any really salt in there, okay? Well, why did you put salt in there? Well, because I have all these sauces that have enough salt. That's why, okay? Because you got your soy sauce, you got your fish sauce. So I'm gonna add a little bit of, just a little bit more of the fish sauce, just a smidge more, okay? And then I am gonna add a little bit more of this oyster sauce. Yeah. Okay. That might have been too much, but hey, I like it because nobody's gonna eat this but me. And then I'll make sure that you guys get the actual. I'll make sure that you get the recipe so you can take that. All right, now, okay. Stir that up. There's a couple ways that you do this. You could have taken this and made sure that it was nice and saucy beforehand, and then just put it on your noodles. So now it's getting to be that color. Then I put that garlic in there. Y'all saw my garlic. Now, you know how sometimes you feel like, well, you're eating all this pasta, and you go, what about a vegetable? So I am going to add some spinach to this as well. So I've just made this a whole different dish outside of the garlic noodles, but then we're gonna do that. So now let's go ahead and give it a taste. So we make sure that we are rocking and rolling. I might have to put, now I hadn't used that fork yet, so don't sue me on that one. Good noodles. Good noodles. Yes, indeed, y'all. Oh my God. Now, I put that on there, and it didn't need that much sugar. Now, here's the fun part. Here comes the fun part. We are going to add, let me add the green onion. So now I'm gonna go ahead and pop in the green onion. See how pretty that looks? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That looks really pretty. I wish I could take a picture of that. That looks really pretty. Can y'all see that? Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and grate the cheese on here. So for the Parmesan, this is a vegan Parmesan cheese by Violife. I love this cheese. First of all, I love the fact that it is a hard Parm cheese, okay? And look at how that looks on there. Can y'all see that? Look at there. Doesn't that look pretty? That's when you want a picture of it, right? I wish I could take a picture of that. There we go. I would love to take a picture of that, but this is on here, so I don't think I can do that. Oh, well, next time we'll take a picture. But this is really, really good. Look at that, you guys. Doesn't that look great? That looks delicious. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna stir this all up. And let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. And I'm probably gonna have to, let's use this here because that was not the business. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna use that. Okay. So see how that's starting to, oh yeah. We got some, so we wanna make sure we get that coloring all throughout. You see how my chicken is through there? So now you can almost make this a chicken noodle soup. If you want, you can add a little bit more butter. So I wanna say this. If you saw how easy, look, I'm dropping everything everywhere, huh? you saw how easy this is to veganize. Okay, so the items in this recipe that were used to veganize it was the Parmesan cheese, the butter, and and the oyster sauce, okay, and the fish sauce. So those are all the ingredients that were used, that we used the vegan version of them. And we still got the nice flavors that you're looking for, that nice garlicky flavor. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna sprinkle a little black pepper on there. So this is what I do when I make it Tamiko's own. Okay, I'm gonna throw in just a few of that because I like that. And then just for a little extra, I'm gonna throw, well, since I put the red pepper in there, I don't think I'm gonna do the sesame, the hot sesame oil. So I'm just gonna put a bar of that. All right, and we're gonna sprinkle that with some seeds on top. Well, voila. We have now finished our look at there. We've got our garlic noodles, okay? So let's go ahead and pop this on a plate. I am making like all kind of stuff. Oh, I forgot my spinach. You know what? I forgot the spinach, but that's okay. Let's try it a little bit without the, woo. We're just gonna pop that there. Okay. Get us a couple pieces of chicken on top. And then we're gonna try this out. Look, I'm gonna try that little piece right here. Because I like it. And shake a little bit of little sesame seeds on there. And a little bit of the green pepper. And boom, there we go. There we go. Look at that. So let's check it out and see what we got here. Guys, oh man. I have been waiting to get some of these garlic noodles. Oh, y'all ready? You ready? Want a bite? Want a bite? Okay, here we go. You guys, you're gonna have to make this because it's quick, it's easy, we're preserving the earth. There's no animals were used in this dish. Not one, not even a hoof. This is all straight. And you saw how quick that was? Granted, you saw I might even just for the shake of it, you know, like when you serve it, you can even take it and put a little parm on top there. I'm telling you, you guys, this is really, really good. You taste those butter. You definitely taste that butter coming through there. I got myself something to eat for the next few days. This is really quick, easy, keep it simple. I want you to definitely think about, you know, adopting a plant-based vegan way of eating or adopting a vegan diet. It can be, you'll learn so much. Your body will thank you. If you were having issues with like your skin and breaking out or acne, maybe try and let go of dairy, okay? Let's, and then think about the animals, right? We're also saving them, right? So this is really quick and easy. I would love to you to come and check me out on my 30-day vegan curious transition quick start. It's a 30-day program, as I said. It's got about 9 different modules or 8 different modules. We're going to talk about reading labels, creating a meal plan, an actual cooking session, and so forth. So, and what else are we going to talk about? What else did I say? Oh, substitutes like for meat and dairy and eggs, right? So, and just kind of get you started. To kind of get you started, because all it has to, you only have to think about it one plate at a time, just one plate at a time. And I want you to enjoy the journey as you go about it. You know, have fun experimenting with new flavors and textures and seasonings. And you know what? There are so many recipes out there to try. Today, you're going to see some great cooks that are cooking some other things. Oh my God, you're going to want to try it, okay? So this is Tamiko Garner. I am your plant-based vegan sister who loves to keep it real and relatable. And I want to inspire you to adopt a plant-based vegan way of eating. One little plate at a time. That's all you have to do. And I want you to begin to enjoy the journey. You know why? Because it's fun. We can have fun with the journey. In my hand just slipped over there in the thing. Anyway, and then make you some veganized garlic noodles. I am your friend that loves to veganize meals. That's what I want to focus on and show you how to do that. And I'm telling you, it's really simple. Start with something simple. One recipe where you just change out one thing and change like your plant-based milk for a plant-based milk, okay? You can change out butters. There are so many vegan butters on the market. I know I just kind of went off. I had ended and then I came back. Anyway, I just had to share that little bit tip. So this is Tamiko Garner. I am signing off. I hope you enjoy the rest of the special event here for Earth Day. You guys have a great day, and I will see you next time. I'm gonna finish eating. Hey, bye now.
Thank you so much, Tamiko. That was awesome. I knew that Tamiko was going to be making garlic noodles today, and I had such a ferocious craving for them that I had to order some from Vegan Mob last night. So just the power of suggestion. But that was a great recipe. I love the inclusion of the Butler's soy curls. Those are always delicious, and they're great company. And Miyoko's butter, I mean, really, can you get any better than that? I see we have a couple of questions in the chat. Let's see. Oh, what is the healthiest noodle to substitute for a wheat flour noodle? There are so many different noodles out there right now, especially if you go to an Asian market. You'll see a variety of noodles. I think maybe for this dish, something that might be fun to experiment with would be a kelp noodle. But if you want to ask Tamiko directly, feel free to go to any on all social media platforms. She's at Plant-Based Vegan Sista on all social media platforms. And then her website is plantbasedvegansista.com. And if you know, if you yourself are transitioning to vegan now, or if you have a friend or a family member who is interested in trying out veganism, I highly recommend Tamiko's Vegan Curious program, which will be starting up again next month. If you want to sign up for that, definitely go to her website. And as you can see, like she's fun, she's positive, she's upbeat. It's not going to be like a drill sergeant or any kind of like vegan boot camp situation. It's definitely as her favorite saying, one plate at a time, just going vegan one plate at a time. And it does take a little while to transition. And I love her program, and I love how inclusive it is and how specific it is. I wish that there was something around like this for me when I was first going vegan 18 years ago, because there are a lot of questions when you're new to veganism. What to look for on ingredients lists, and what to substitute milk wise, protein wise, and it's just a very inclusive and thorough course. So I highly recommend the Vegan Curious Transition Program from Tamiko. And I love that suggestion of shiitake noodles. That's a really great idea, Erin. Shiitake noodles are a really good idea. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get Jillian's video loaded up. So bear with me for just a moment, and we'll be watching Jillian. She's going to be making a raw cinnamon spiced carrot cake with lemon turmeric cream cheese frosting. And just to give you kind of an overview about Jillian, for those of you who don't know, she has worked with us several times in the past. So for folks who are older members, I'm sure you've seen Jillian at Earth Day events in the past and at World Veg Fest as well. Jillian is a talented, whole food based raw vegan chef, life coach, accomplished workshop leader, international educator, and inspiring presenter. Jillian completed her certification as a raw vegan chef from Living Light Culinary Institute in 2003. She has her bachelor's degree in communications and a master's degree in counseling. She's a certified life coach through the Coaches Training Institute and a certified master NPL practitioner through NPL California. She's committed to helping others nurture their health, enjoy plant-based cuisine, and transform their lives. She's available for personal chef services, menu development, classes, retreats, and coaching. You can follow Jillian on Instagram at Chef Jillian Love, and you can check out her website at jillianlove.com. All righty. All righty, here we go.
Hi there, I am Chef Jillian Love. Thank you to the San Francisco Vegetarian Society for inviting me to come out and teach you guys some fun vegan cooking skills here for Earth Day 2021. I love making food that is not only tasty, but also healthy. So I always try and take recipes that are things that we love to eat and figure out ways to make them super healthy out of real food. So whole food, plant-based, predominantly plant-based, and things that you can recognize like carrots. As a matter of fact, this is the main ingredient in today's recipe. And dates. Instead of sugar, we use some dates. And we have somewhere here a bunch of really yummy walnuts. So good. So things that you can recognize, things that are real food that nourish your body and create fuel to fuel this incredible system so that we stay healthy and vibrant and energized long, long, long into the future. Today we are making a awesome, amazing, like best ever raw vegan carrot cake. Now you could cook it if you wanted to, but we are not going to cook it today because you don't have to, which means you have the immediate satisfaction of being able to eat it as soon as you're done making it. How good is that? Second, it's made of carrots and things like walnuts and dates and stuff like that. So it's really healthy for you, and it's almost like eating a glorified bowl of vegetables in the form of a cake, which we can justify as good anytime, even for breakfast. And it just tastes amazing. So who doesn't like carrot cake? It's like one of those cakes that pretty much everyone likes, whether you're a bunny, not a bunny, Earth Day Pro, not Earth Day Pro, carrot cake is the way to go. Okay, so without further ado, I am going to get us started and show you some of the ingredients and how to put them together. Okay, so our first ingredient is going to be 2 cups of almond meal. So what is almond meal? Almond meal is almonds that have been ground up into a flour. You can either buy this in the store already made. You can also use almond flour. Or you can, if you really want to be a raw purist, soak your almonds, dehydrate them, and then use your Vitamix or even a food processor to grind them into a fine flour. But that's almond meal. Our second ingredient is going to be a 1/3 cup of ground flax. I like to use the golden flax because I like the color of it. It's really not much difference whether you use the darker flax or the golden one, but it'll just change the color a little bit of your cake. And I like to get them fresh, the seeds whole, and then grind them up myself because they are very fragile and can go rancid. So I also store this kind of stuff into the fridge. Our third ingredient is going to be coconut flour. So, or just a cup of dried shredded coconut. Now, basically, you can also buy dried shredded coconut in the store or coconut flour in the store, or you can get coconut flakes and grind them up yourself, either in your Vitamix or your food processor, to a fine flour like this. But we're putting that in. And notice these are all things that you can eat raw. So no cooking is needed. Even though they're flours, they're not the kind of flour that needs to be cooked. Then we're going to add to this some of the flavor. Oh no, the next ingredient actually is our next ingredient is 3 cups of carrot pulp. So basically I juiced a bunch of carrots, and this is the pulp from juicing. It's lovely, it's light, and makes your cake actually really light. Now, if you wanted to, you can just pulse carrots in your food processor, but that's going to make a much heavier, denser cake. This actually is light and fluffy and keeps the carrot cake kind of light and fluffy. So we're just going to put all of those in right there. And it's a great use for all your carrot pulp. You always wonder what to do. I hate wasting all of that pulp that looks like it should be good for something when you're juicing. Well, you don't have to waste it. There you go. Now for our flavor, we're going to add a bunch of spices. So what do I have in here? I have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon right there, 1 teaspoon of coriander, 1 teaspoon of coriander is right here, 2 teaspoons of ginger powder, and a teaspoon of nutmeg, half teaspoon of salt. You could use fresh ginger if you wanted to. You could even juice it and add that. Up to you what you want to do in terms of making it super zingy. I've done that before. It's really nice. You can even buy candied ginger pieces and mince those up and add it in. Really, it's endless what you can do. But this is what I'm using today, all the powdered spices. And that looks like a lot of spice, but we want a lot of flavor. And don't forget, this carrot pulp, you know, once it's juiced, doesn't have that much flavor left in it. It's got some flavor, but we're really spicing up the cake with all of that spices. Now, to add some texture, I'm going to add in a bunch of chopped walnuts. And those I don't want to be tiny because I want to have chunks of walnut in there. Maybe you don't like that. You don't have to do that. Maybe you want to use pecans or cashews or hazelnuts, but I like walnuts, and I think this goes really well with the flavor, so I'm going to put those in. Now, we have 2 more ingredients that go into this mix, which is kind of the liquid that will bind the batter. And what those are going to be is dates and carrot juice. Now, since I'm going to be doing this in a mixer, I'm going to do it in my countertop mixer. I'm going to need to get those dates blended up into a paste first. So I just mix everything around so all the dry ingredients are even in there. And what I'm going to do is take this carrot juice and these dates, which I've already pitted. These are big, juicy, mature dates. A cup of carrot juice, 2 cups of dates. And I'm going to blend them into a paste and then add them to this. Okay, so here we go. I'm putting in all of the dates into my Vitamix, which is my favorite blender, I have to say. I double check, even though they're pitted dates, I double check them because sometimes there's still pits, even in the pitted dates. I've had that happen before. And this is 1 cup of carrot juice. Consequently, it's the carrot juice that is from the carrots that I juiced. So the juice, nothing goes to waste. The juice here is getting mixed back in with the cake, only separate from the pulp. And let me find my lid. Here we go. And we'll put this on. Okay, it's a nice thick paste, and now we're ready to pour that into the cake. So I'm going to get it all in there, nice and thick. Make sure I get every last bit. And now I can take this over and put it on my stand mixer. I could probably just mix it by hand too, but I like my tools, so I'm gonna use countertop stand mixer. Look at that, doesn't that look lovely? Nice, thick, that's the sweetness and that's the binder. That's going to bind. Now the flax is in there. When it rehydrates, it's gonna become like an egg and stick everything together. So every ingredient in here has a purpose. Okay, so here we are. It's in the stand mixer. I'm going to bring it up and I'll hold it over here so you can see. We'll just turn it on. It's starting to stick together nicely. It really doesn't take too long until it's a nice consistency. And that's literally it. I'll take this down. And you can see, and it's just about ready right now to go into the pan. Okay, so we mixed this up and the consistency is just perfect. Do you see that, how it's sticking together right there? And even though you might think it looks a little bit wet, it's going to, the texture is going to even out because we have flax in there that's going to soak up some of the liquid, as well as that dried coconut, which is also going to soak up some of the liquid and bind everything together. And I wanted to let you know I added in a little bit of vanilla while you weren't looking because I forgot to do it originally. So there's a little bit of vanilla in there. It's not a make or break thing, but I like the flavor, so you can always add in a little bit of vanilla or leave it out. And then I have a cake pan here. What I did was, it's one of these release cake pans. So I put a piece of parchment on the bottom and then put the top on, and I'm closing it so that when it's time to take this cake off, it will be really easy to remove it with the parchment itself. So, this is a small cake pan because I'm making actually 2 small cakes out of this. One I'm going to share with you. If you were here, I would share it with you. And one I'm going to give to a friend. You can do a big kind of 8-inch cake pan for this. And this one is small, probably about a 7-inch. No, maybe even smaller. So I guess you could do a 10-inch with this. Depends how high you want it to be and how thick. This is also really nice when you make 2 layers and put icing in the middle. But this one I'm going to just make kind of a little bit of a shorter layer and icing on top. And make it nice and flat. Pack it in there because this is what's going to have it stick together. You can also get in there with your hands, or if you had kids' hands, they love to get in there too. Mostly you just want to make it mostly flat. Put a little bit more on top here. And then really just pushing it around and making it flat. And then we're going to put a layer of icing on top. And now we're going to make icing. Okay, so here we have the ingredients for the icing. We're making a lemon turmeric cashew cream cheese frosting. It's amazing. And first ingredient is cashews. So have my blender here. I'm going to throw in, well, also dates. So we're doing a 1/2 cup of pitted dates, which I checked already. There are no pits in those. They're going in. And then we will do cashews. So we got 2 cups of cashews going in there. Raw cashews. I guess you could use roasted ones if you wanted. They'd change the flavor and they wouldn't be raw anymore. But there's your raw cashews. Then for a little bit of flavor, we're going to add some turmeric and a bit of salt. Salt helps bring out the sweet. It balances out the flavor. It makes the flavor pop. You always need a little tiny bit of salt. So turmeric, because I like the yellow color and I like its anti-inflammatory properties, and I also like the flavor. So we're going to go with that. And then also we're adding 1 cup of water to that, and 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Now I wanted to show you this. I know everything's been prepared in advance, but this lemon, I grew this lemon in my garden. I'm so excited about it. It's like one of my success stories of gardening, which I don't have many. I have more unsuccess stories, but this particular lemon is on a tree that I planted that actually produced lemons. And so I'm gonna just juice it in there. Oh, so good. This is Life Essence. It's so good, so good. Oh my God. Okay. And fill my little cup with a 1/4 cup of lemon juice right there. That gives it the zing. It makes it kind of cream cheesy tasting. And then the last thing that's going in there is a 1/4 cup of coconut oil. And what the coconut oil will do is add richness, but also it will help it to set up in the fridge and get firm when we chill it. I'm going to take this and blend it. So here we go. We're going to blend up the icing. Now you want to have that vortex in there to make sure it's blending really well. And if it's not doing that, it's got an air bubble. So you just shake it around. Okay, so my frosting is nice and creamy. I'm gonna pour it on. Now, you know, you can add some extra maple, some extra dates, some extra lemon or a different color like some beets or spirulina to change the color of it. My lemons are Meyer lemons, so I added a little bit extra because they're not as tart and I wanted it to be tart. But look how beautiful that's pouring right on there. Lovely, not one little lump. It's not sandy at all. It's totally creamy. And I can literally just kind of move it around. I don't even have to spread it with a knife. I can just move it, let it go all the way to the ends. And put a tiny bit more on because it's so good. There you go. See that? Lovely. And now, I really am not going to take it out of this until it sets up a little bit because the coconut oil has to set the icing so it doesn't drip over the edge. It is fine if it drips over the edge. You can totally do that, but I'm going for it to look a little bit neater. But what I can put on right now is some decoration on top. So I'm going to put some pecans right around the edge. You can put walnuts. I mean, this is where you get creative and do whatever you like. But I like some crunchy bits and I like it to look pretty. So I'm going to put some pecans around the edge. And then I also have some goji berries, which I think would look nice because of the pretty pop and red color. So I'll just put a few of those around. And these add nice texture and variety and go really well. This is also really great with fresh fruits. You can let it set up. And then right before serving it, maybe serve it with a piece of pineapple would be lovely. Or maybe some cherries would look great on top of here. Strawberries for sure would look really nice. But I like the goji berries and they stay. And then if I don't eat it right away, I don't have to worry about the fruit getting kind of wilty or mushy in there. And the last thing I'm going to put on is a few goji berries. So there we go. Throw those guys on there. And the limit is really only your own imagination. So if you get in there and see how pretty it looks. And I will set this up and then show you the final product. Okay, so here we go. The cake has been chilling in the refrigerator just for about an hour. And I'm going to open it up. The icing is set really nicely. You can see it's not moving at all. A couple of the little toppings are moving, but that's okay. So undo the side here. And it's coming away nicely. I'm going to just use this to make sure everything's sticking. Yeah, it's really nice. And just basically lift the top off. A little bit of the toppings are falling over, but that's okay because I put a lot on there. And still on the bottom. But as you can see, it looks really nice. Things are falling off, and it's easy for me to get this off the bottom of the pie plate. Since I want it to look really pretty on here, I'm going to actually remove it from the parchment. My scraping tool. Kind of like move it right over like that onto the pretty plate. There you have it. Lovely turmeric cream cheese frosted spiced carrot cake. Cut into it here. Show you how well it holds together. Yum. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I'm going to send the recipe along to everyone who watched this, and I'm happy to take any questions. If you have them, you can always write to me at love@jillianlove.com. Visit me on Facebook, Chef Jillian Love. Visit me on Instagram, Chef Jillian Love. And I have a website, jillianlove.com. Hope to see you there, and enjoy your cake.
Didn't that look delicious? Jillian always makes the most yummy looking things. Not only do I know for sure that they taste great because I've had so many dishes that she's made in the past, but they look beautiful. And I love that she's always playing with colors, like adding that turmeric. There we go. As Jillian said, if you have any questions about her raw vegan carrot cake and cream cheese frosting recipe, you can contact her directly at love@jillianlove.com, or you can talk to her on Instagram at Chef Jillian Love. And then her website is jillianlove.com. And definitely, yeah, we will be having all of the recipes provided to our members after the presentation. So you'll be getting those sent out to you via our newsletter. So if you are not signed up for our newsletter, now is a good time to do it. Just go ahead and go to our website, sfvs.org, and you'll see a little option on the front page to join our mailing list. And that's for our newsletter. You also get updates about events like these. And then when we're able to start doing in-person events again, we'll be notifying people that way also. So definitely take a minute and sign up to get on our mailing list. going to sing her praises a little bit. If you have not yet met Stephanie Bosco, she is awesome. She's AKA the Superfood Goddess on Instagram, Facebook, and that's also her website, thesuperfoodgoddess.com. She's a health and wellness coach who shares her own personal journey in health and transitioning to healthier living to help others. Healthy living, which includes food, exercise, and mind, is what I'm passionate about, says Stephanie. Stephanie acknowledges that transitioning to healthy living can be challenging, but her goal is to make the transition enjoyable and as easy as possible. She provides support for attaining a healthy future, a happy mind, and peace. So definitely check out Stephanie on thesuperfoodgoddess.com or on social media at the Superfood Goddess. Hi, Stephanie. Here, let me. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so excited to learn about this veganized, gluten-free taco salad action.
Yes. Thank you. Me too. Thank you for having me. It's so exciting to be here and just be able to be amongst other amazing professionals. And yeah, so thank you so much.
I'm going to go ahead and dip out, but I will be right here if you run into any problems. And everybody, if you have questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat, and we will ask Stephanie those after her presentation. Thanks so much.
Of course. Thank you. So I am Stephanie Bosco. I go by the Superfood Goddess online, on my social media platform, and on my recipe blog. And again, like I said, it's really nice to be here. So thank you so much for the warm welcome. You know, I don't know if everyone is vegan or maybe vegan curious or vegetarian. You know, it's nice to incorporate everyone into this. I'll give you a quick little background about myself. I am a health coach, and I do primarily teach plant-based, whole food eating. You know, and I think that if we as individuals, as a community, as a country could even go at least 80%, we'd make such a huge difference in the environment, for animals, for our own health. I mean, of course, I'd love to see everyone be 100%. That would be amazing. But so I am a health coach. I have 3 certifications, and I am currently in my master's program for clinical nutrition. So I am working towards being a nutritionist, a certified nutrition specialist. And we look at how the macro and micronutrients of food affect how we fuel our bodies, whether it's preventative eating. It's eating in a way that hopefully will promote less disease. And really that's what I'm all about. I started my journey 14 years ago. I did it for mental health reasons. My brother got checked into a psych ward. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. And, you know, just like any other emergency that might happen, we go searching. We start asking other professionals. We start talking to different friends. You know, again, now that social media is so huge, it wasn't as big back then 14 years ago, but you know, even now you go online and you start seeing what kind of professionals on social media are saying. And so that's what we did. And the vegan diet kind of landed in our lap. By the way, because I want to start sauteing my vegetable or my onions, I am going to start getting my pan a little warm here while I'm telling you my story. But you know, so we started looking around for different options, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the book Skinny Bitch. That is literally what turned me vegan. It made so much sense to me that if we were eating stressed out animals that are being taken away from their mothers or their families, or mothers taken away from their children. You know, I mean, as a human, I can only imagine what that's like. And so thinking about this depressed meat that we are killing and eating made a lot of sense, that if we're ingesting that, we're ingesting that energy, we're ingesting, you know, that depressed, anxious meat. along with other things like hormones and antibiotics. And again, you know, in a very neutral space, I thought, wow, that makes sense to me. You know, not like so like super far out hippie. I know sometimes people think like energy can be a little like woo woo, but it made sense to me. And so we decided, by the way, I'm going to use a little bit of organic olive oil so that I can start sauteing my onions and get them a little translucent. I've already prepped everything. So I'm going to start with throwing in my onions. So it made a lot of sense to me that the energy that is transferred could make a difference in the way that my brother was feeling. And, you know, I wanted to help him. So I started doing more research after reading that book. You know, we decided, my mom, my brother, and myself, we decided that we would do a 3-month vegan challenge. We tried to eat vegan for 3 months. We had to read all the ingredients. I'm sure all of you have done this, you know, reading to see, is there whey? Is there milk protein isolates? Is there casein? There's so many different things you really have to look at. And to be honest, it helped me become a more conscious consumer. And I mean, it just does. You know, you start thinking about what's in your food, how you're going to fuel your body. You start going to different events, you know, events that are more compassionate. And so it transformed my life. And I know I like to stay away from the word diet, even though I do know that, you know, the vegan diet, it is a way of eating, but it's also a way of life. And I really, really enjoyed that aspect on it. I'm adding just a little bit of salt. I like using pink Himalayan salt, by the way, because it does have some minerals in it. Our bodies need salt. We need sodium. It's just the right kind of sodium. And I always like to add my own. So when I'm out shopping for items, you know, if I'm shopping for beans or I'm shopping for, you know, anything that might be processed, like vegetable broth, I like to buy low or no sodium so that I can add my own. Because like I said, we do need sodium and salt, but nowadays with processed foods, there's way too much, you know, once you have like 5 processed things in a meal, you have way too much sodium. And I get it. Sodium makes things taste good. You know, it opens up the flavor receptors in your mouth, and you can receive the food and really taste it. So again, it's a culinary thing. It is good for our health, but again, in moderation. So I just like to add a little bit of salt to my onions so that they start to get a little bit more translucent and they sweat a little bit. I usually let them saute for about 5 minutes or so. And then I will start adding, I like to add in the order of how long something's going to cook. Other than when it comes to bell peppers, because I just like them a little sauteed. But I like to start with my zucchini. That's going to give me about a 5-minute saute, and then I'll start adding all the other items. Also, in this taco, so this taco salad is 100% whole food based. Other than the dressing, I did make the dressing handmade, but it is made with Vegenaise. Vegenaise, Vegenaise. I actually don't know. It's been 14 years and I still don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. So if anyone, you know, knows or how to say that, please correct me. I'm always happy to learn. But so instead of using meat, like a fake meat, which you absolutely could, you know, I always say I make a recipe, I give it to you so that you can be the creator and make it however you would like to. So if you don't like adding cheese, or you don't like the Thousand Island dressing that I make and you'd rather use salsa only, or maybe like an Italian dressing, go right ahead, do whatever you want. I just give you kind of a blueprint. You can kind of mix around like what you want to do. So the meat today is going to be riced cauliflower and mushrooms. Again, you could go buy those crumbles, the meatless crumbles. You can go buy Beyond Meat. There's so many options nowadays. Again, 14 years ago, like there weren't that many. Then I found out I was gluten-free and that I had to be gluten-free because I have an intolerance. And then that basically took out all meats until Beyond came out. And so I was stoked about that. Again, I do try to be as whole food as possible because anything processed is going to have extra oils and extra salt and other things added to it. And so I like to do whole foods. Now, again, I'm not saying that Beyond Meat isn't amazing or that, you know, the faux cheeses aren't amazing. They are. I just like to use them as a treat as opposed to incorporating it into my lifestyle every single day. And again, they're great transitional foods. I'm sure many of you have had people, and I was one of them, in your life that are like, I can't get rid of cheese. I love my cheese boards. I could never stop that. And I get it. You know, I didn't want to get rid of cheese and yogurt, and I didn't want to get rid of my raw fish. Like that was something that food is personal. It's cultural, it's personal. And so I like to be kind to others in that aspect. And so when people say, oh no, I could never do that because I need my dairy, I like to challenge them a little and say, well, have you tried some of the other items? So I just threw in my zucchini, and now I'm gonna quickly grab my, so I have a food processor. Bring this down a little so you can see. And let me plug it in. I'm gonna rice the cauliflower in front of you just so you can kind of see how to do it. I love making a fried rice with cauliflower, and you just take some bigger pieces, throw them in, and then I'm just gonna lightly pulse it. This is about half of a cauliflower. Got to make sure I'm stirring this. This is on a little less than medium, just so that I can make sure that I'm talking to you well and not, not going too slow, but not going too fast either. Okay, so put this on. I'm going to pulse it a couple times. You want to pulse it because if you actually turn it, you're going to make like a puree instead. Okay, so you've also heard Vegenaise both ways. All right. I go to a lot of the health food or a lot of the health shows. I don't know if you've heard of Expo West or Expo East. They're always there, and I've every single year have forgotten to ask. I remember Daya. I did talk to the owner of Daya, and it's Daya. I was saying Daya for the longest time, the vegan cheese. So again, it's like, tomato. Okay, so that's ready. I'm gonna throw this in next. I just wanna get you to see it's little rice, like little rice pieces. I'm gonna throw that in, wash my hand a little. Okay, and we'll mix this in with some taco seasoning. One of my favorite meals, growing up, I was not vegetarian. I ate kind of like the lean meats, like chicken, turkey, and fish. And one of my favorite meals was taco salad. And so I always tell people, a lot of my clients, I'll say, hey, I get that you don't want to not be able to eat your burgers or your macaroni and cheese or some of your favorite items that you grew up on. You don't have to let go of them. You just have to learn how to veganize them. And so taco salad with some lean turkey was usually my go-to. So I thought, okay, how can I make this the way that I want to? So again, when I was first vegan, I went and bought the crumbles, the faux crumbles, and I made it that way. And as I've evolved over the last 14 years, and again, it's a journey. I try to tell people, be kind to yourself, be patient. I know it can take time to learn. And I think the biggest thing for us is a lot of times if we make a mistake or we feel like we failed or, one day you incorporated dairy by accident, that's okay. It's a journey. Get back up and try again. You don't have to give up just because you didn't make it perfectly or you didn't do the perfect thing. We're human. We make mistakes. We screw up. And it's all about just being kind to ourselves. I mean, that's the vegan lifestyle, right? Is being compassionate to ourselves, to others, to all living beings, to our environment. And again, that way of living is a way that I want to live all the time. I want people to be happy, feel good, feel supported. And so I don't know that just, it aligns for me in that way. So I'm going to use this organic taco seasoning. You technically could make your own with some chili and cumin and some other spices. But just for the sake of time and ease, because I always like to show, products and brands just in case. I got this at, well, locally where I'm at, there's an Oliver's. I don't know if Oliver's is where you're at or if it's in San Francisco, but you can get this at Safeway as well, or Ralph's or Raley's. And again, I'm sure many of you know this, but it's all about the spices. People forget. People put spices on meat too. So putting it on our vegetables to make it taste good, it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing. That's where the flavor comes. I love flavor. I'll mix that in. So I've got the rice cauliflower and the zucchini going and these onions. I'll let that saute just a little bit more. And then I'm going to add the mushrooms. I want to add some mushrooms because as the mushrooms cook down, they get a little bit wet, and that's going to add a little bit of wetness to my dish. I don't like to overdo it with oil. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying oil's bad, but again, as a culture, as a in the United States, we definitely use a lot of oil. Well, I think actually probably all around the world. But so I like to watch that consumption a little bit. I do want to get back to a little bit more about my story. So I went for mental health reasons. I did it to support my brother. It was a journey, reading nutrition facts, and really learning something new. I started making new friends that cared about a lot of stuff, conscious friends and people. I started going to more conscious events that were just more fulfilling. So I in turn started feeling better, not only because of how I was eating and knowing that I wasn't harming anything, but I started creating this really beautiful outlet of people in my life. And I started learning a lot. As you go through life, you learn. Sometimes you fall on your face, but you continue to learn and grow. And I think that that's really important. And so I was, after the 3 months, I was like, that's it. I'm done. I don't need meat and dairy anymore. I love how this makes me feel. And I, at the time, was on depression medication and anxiety medication. And again, sure, I was learning new tools. I was going to better events. I was starting to do yoga. I was doing a lot more conscious stuff. But I started feeling better because of how I was eating. A lot of my skin issues went away. I had eczema. I used to get bloated when I ate dairy, which a lot of people are lactose intolerant, especially as we get older. It's harder to digest dairy. And which again is when I have clients that are like, I don't want to get rid of the dairy, but they're so in pain from eating it because of, they don't want to give up the taste or maybe the cultural aspect of it. But I had all those things go away. I grew up as a sick child. I had ear, nose, and throat issues all the time. I had bronchitis often, and it was painful. To me, when I get sick, because I literally been sick twice in the last 14 years. Now, if I do get sick or I'm just not feeling the best, it makes a huge difference. I notice, because I'm not used to it. I often feel very well. And I know it's because of how I feel my body. I'm going to add the mushrooms now. Again, like I said, it's going to give it a little bit of a little water, a little bit of flavor. We like that umami flavor. There's so many different flavors and ways that you can, cook and add different vegetables to your dishes. So I was on depression and panic attack medication, and I had been on it for 3 years already as I went vegan. The first year of being vegan, I just started realizing I was feeling better. And normally with SSRIs, that's what they call depression medication, they will tell you that you will never be able to get off of them. That's what they told me. They said, Stephanie, you're never going to be able to get off of your depression medication because it makes a chemical, a change in your body, and it's just not possible. And in my mind, I thought, what? That sounds so far out to me that you have to be on this medication for the rest of your life. And again, maybe you do, but I don't know. I like to push the envelope. And so after 2 years of being vegan, after a year of being vegan, I thought, you know what? I just want to go ask a doctor. I asked the first doctor and she said, yeah, no, you can't get off of it. And then of course, and I always tell people, don't listen to just me. Go find other people, hear what they're saying, go get a second opinion. If you come down with a disease, do you just listen to that one person or do you go and maybe get a second opinion? So that's something for me that I went and did. I went to another doctor and the doctor said, yeah, we can wean you off slowly, no problem. So over a year, I weaned slowly off of my SSRIs, and and here I am. This is now 12 years later. I'm free and clear of depression medication, and it's because of the way I eat, but also the way I live my life. And different tools that I've learned on how to battle depression, because like I said, I'm human. We're all human. I definitely have depressed days, and I definitely have anxiety. I get nervous before I go do something for the first time, or sometimes even for a presentation, it happens. That's normal. But I'm not living as a depressed human anymore. And so, there's a difference. And for the longest time, I just thought, well, yeah, there's just something in the food. It must work. And now that I'm in my clinical practice, I actually can tell you that it really, it does make a difference. We have, really quickly, I'm going to add the red bell peppers. And someone asked about the mushrooms. I'm using brown cremini mushrooms. I love portobellos too. You could use white mushrooms. You could use some of the fancier mushrooms like lion's mane or the king trumpets. So you can do whatever you want. But today I'm using cremini. I tend to like the brown ones a little bit better. So I'm going to add the red bell pepper. So in our gut, and I'm sure many of you have heard this before, the gut microbiome, the gut and brain connection is real. I'm also adding some black beans. I'm gonna add that in here. And this is gonna be my topping of my taco salad. This is gonna be the meaty part of it, the meatless meaty part. So in our gut, we have over 30 neurotransmitters that are being created. I'm sure many of you have heard of serotonin. And back in the day with research studies, they were saying about 60 to 70% is made in our gut. And it's like the happy serum. It's what makes us feel good with mood support. It's made now with research and studies, it has shown that 80 to 90% of serotonin is made in our gut. And just right there, think about it. The food that's coming through your body, or through your digestive tract, it has to feed your good bacteria. We have good bacteria, just like you go and buy a yogurt and it has acidophilus and other probiotics in it. That is something that we have in our gut as well. We can have many strains of different bacteria in our gut. And we have to feed that gut well. So when we're eating prebiotic foods, prebiotics means food for the probiotics. And some, vegetables, fiber, that's really what we need in our gut. Fiber scrubs the insides of our intestines to make it clean, just like some people put stuff in their drains to clean it out when it kind of gets mucked up. Same thing. It's that system that when we eat mostly vegetables, or when we do eat a lot of fiber, especially in the vegan diet or diet lifestyle, we are constantly cleaning ourselves from the inside out. It's beautiful. Our bodies are beautiful. They're intelligent, and so I love the GI, because I know that when we nurture here, we're nurturing here as well as everything. Our gut, that's where disease starts. That's where inflammation starts. That's where mental health starts. And I am huge about mental health. It's very important to me. Like I told you, I started my vegan journey 14 years ago because of mental health, because of my brother. And it in turn helped me. which was really cool, you know, and now again, like I said, I'm not on medication, and I'm not downing anyone that might be on medication. Like that's, especially for mental health, I know it's a real thing, you know, and not all of us have the same toolbox. You know, I came into the world with kind of a broken toolbox. I didn't understand. And, you know, as I got older, I had to put new tools in and, you know, and maybe polish some up. Like it's just part of life and our journey. And yeah, and it's beautiful, you know, reminding ourselves that it's beautiful, that we are human. It's okay to feel, even when you don't feel good, it's okay. That's okay. You know, like I said, we're human. Okay. So I keep going back and forth because I want to talk about the food too. Check. Let's see. I'm going to grab my thing here. Check out how this is coming along. It smells amazing.
That looks gorgeous. Wow.
Thank you. Yes, I wish we had I'm sure now that we're all online, I'm sure they're going to figure something out with smell. Wouldn't that be so cool? So I've got that going. That's good. I have nothing more that I'm going to add here. And again, so I used zucchini, mushrooms, riced cauliflower, black beans, red bell pepper. Did I say onions? That's what I put in here. You can do whatever you want. If you want to add some carrots to that, if you would rather use tofu instead of riced cauliflower, or maybe tofu on top, absolutely awesome. I do always say, you know, a lot of people, especially because, you know, what was it, like 20, 30 years ago, there was a doctor or a gentleman who said something about soy not being good. It's not bad for us. But what I do tell people is you want to buy organic tofu, at least whenever you can. I know that we don't always have access to organic food or healthy foods. And I know that that's a growing concern, and it's actually being talked about more, which I'm happy about, because, you know, food insecurity is a real thing. And so, you know, I like to be, conscious about that as well. But whenever possible, if you can buy organic tofu, that's where it's at. Because the reason is because tofu and corn, those are two very cheap crops to grow. It doesn't take a lot of money or effort. And so they're used as fillers a lot. And so they can be heavily thrown with pesticides. And so that's why I tell people, if you can, try to at least buy organic tofu. Tofu is good for us. It has protein, it has calcium, it has vitamins and minerals that our body needs. And again, the one time I would say maybe it isn't good for you is if you have Hashimoto's, or, you know, some sort of autoimmune disorder where you can't have soy. Absolutely, that's fine. But I just wanted to say that, because a lot of times when I start speaking with clients and other people, usually the first thing is, well, soy's bad for you, or soy will make you grow breasts. And let me tell you, if that was the truth, I think all the ladies would already be on that train. So, but, you know, again, it's taking things that people say and really researching them. So maybe you do hear that. Go research it. Go talk to another professional. Go see what someone's doing, maybe on social media, and ask them a couple questions. Like, whatever it is, I love promoting the fact of we are our own advocates. And so the more we learn, the more resilient we can be, the more understanding and conscious we can be. So I do think that's, it's important to say. But yeah, so you could use tofu in here. You can go get the meatless crumbles or Beyond Meat. You could throw that in here. The world is yours. The kitchen is your stage. You know, play and act like you want to. And there's also, like, this is a mild taco seasoning. You could get a spicy taco seasoning. If you don't like taco seasoning and you want to put something else on it, go for it. Again, I always want to go towards whole food, plant-based as much as possible, because I know that fiber is helping our gut. The prebiotics, those are helping our gut bacteria. The more healthy gut bacteria, the less disease, the better immune system we have. And really the better neurotransmitters are able to be made in our gut. And then they speak to our mind. Like the gut and the brain are like sisters or best friends. They're talking all day, sending messages. And so, you know, when it's nice and happy in here, it's like, all right, we're good up here. When we're eating, you know, even fried foods aren't like terrible, but I mean, I like to go towards sauteing or steaming. Those are two of the best ways to cook. But again, I mean, I just sauteed, you know, sauteing, you can roast items. But yeah, if you're eating a lot of fried foods, if you're eating a lot of processed foods or a lot of sugary foods, you know, you're telling your gut something, and your gut is telling your brain something, and usually it's not going to feel as great. And I'll give you an example. I was going on a 6.5 hour road trip up north, or I'm sorry, I was down south and I was going up north to here. I'm actually in the Bay Area myself. I'm about 45 minutes away from San Francisco in Rohnert Park, or in the like Petaluma area, Sonoma County. But I was getting on this 6 hour drive, and I just had my green smoothie. I was feeling good. I was feeling energized. I've done the drive so many times. I knew I was going to make it. And I felt good. Like, I think I can drive this whole way. Cause I was with my partner, and he wanted to stop and grab a sandwich and got fries with it. And I love fries. I'm a sucker for fries and chips. I don't eat them all the time. I don't usually have them at home, but I still, again, I'm human. I like fried food too. But it was very interesting to me. And this happens on your journey as you become more, more conscious about what you're eating, what you're putting in your body. You start being more intuitive about how you feel. Like sometimes I'll have like a headache, or I'll feel a little bit low energy, and I'll think, what did I eat today? Or what am I lacking maybe? And so in this instance, I didn't order the fries, but since they were next to me, of course I was grabbing in there, and I had at least half the basket of fries. Within 20 minutes, which is about the time that my body takes to digest, I started feeling really tired, like depressed, tired, like just, whoa, what just happened? And I thought, what a shift from what I was just at. And I didn't even make the sense. Like, I didn't make sense to like the connection quite yet. And I thought about it, like, what changed for me in the last 20 minutes? And I thought, I ate fries. Fries are vegan as long as they're, cooked in, not like cooked in like animal fat. Or in the same cooker or fryer as animal meat. But it was such a shift, and I thought, holy moly, this is the first time I've ever realized that. And again, I've been on this journey for 14 years, and this just happened to me like a year or two ago. So again, we're always constantly learning. I would love to say that I'm 100% perfect. I would love that. Oh my gosh, I've tried so hard my entire life to be perfect. I'm perfectly imperfect. And I think that the more we understand that, the easier it is to get through life, or, when we're on a certain journey or doing something new. It's all just worth trying. Try. If you fail, get up, dust yourself off, and try again. I always tell people that success is on the same road as failure. Failure just didn't get up. Success got up and kept walking. So I always think it's a very important thing to talk about when it comes to cooking and food and starting a new lifestyle. So this is ready, which I'm very excited about. And I've prepared just some mixed greens. I got these at the store. I love adding some tortilla chips. There's some really great brands out there. This is the one that I grabbed. It's an organic tortilla chip brand. And there's two ways you can go about this salad. You could technically kind of make it like nachos and put it on a plate, put down some chips, put the salad and then the topping on top, and kind of eat it like nachos. I love nachos. But today I'm just going to crumble it on top. It gives it a nice little crunch. I'm really big about textures. So I think it's really nice to like pasta. Pasta is, I don't want to use the word slimy, but you know what I mean? Like it's soft. It's soft and warm and yummy. And I love adding crunch to it. So I'll add like some raw seeds on top, or, you know, seeds, nuts, whatever, something to make it crunchy, because there's like a nice texture profile to it. Oh, I love that you love Casa Sanchez too. So yeah, so, you know, just getting some crunch on it, getting some texture. There's so many different elements that go into a dish. Taste, look, texture, smell. There's so many different things that get us to be excited about the food that we're eating. And I'm not sure if you've ever heard this, but literally we start digesting the moment we smell food. That starts to open up our salivary glands. That starts getting the juices going. And then when we put food in our mouths, that is where the digestion really starts. And so it's really important that we chew our food. And I know that probably sounds kind of elementary, like, duh, I know to chew my food, but yeah, I'm a busy person and I catch myself all the time shoveling, you know, whatever it is, shoveling it quick, not chewing all the particles. And you're doing yourself a favor if you're chewing here first, because then your body doesn't have to chew for you. Otherwise, your stomach is producing, you know, all the gastric juices, and it's doing all its work. And of course, again, our bodies are intelligent. It's going to break down the food, but why not make it a little bit easier? You know, like smoothies are definitely a lot easier to process because it's just pulp basically. So I always like to put that little thing in. So I've got my mixed greens, and there's two different ways you can do this too. I like to, at the end, just throw some of this or place some of the dressing on it. But if you like your salads tossed first, you can absolutely do that. That's totally fine. Again, that's kind of a user preference. So all I'm going to do is put some of this topping on top. Again, you are the creator. You can decide how you do it, what it looks like, if you want it to look pretty or messy. Of course, I'm always taking photos of my food, so mine looks, it takes like 20 minutes before I actually eat because I'm like taking photos and making it pretty. I love black olives, so I'll get some sliced olives. I'll throw that on top. And let's see. I love tomatoes, so some fresh tomatoes. Again, color. I always tell people, eat the rainbow. Try to eat the rainbow whenever possible, because that means you're getting the most nutrients that you can. Vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin D and K. These different vitamins and minerals actually help absorb the other vitamins and minerals. So it's important to eat the rainbow. Again, it also is ensuring that you are getting nice fiber. And now again, I know I just put tomatoes on, but I've got some homemade salsa here. I'm just gonna add a little bit of that for just a little bit more flavor. I love flavor. It's all about the flavor and the seasoning. So I'll throw that. And again, you can use salsa as a dressing. I do it all the time. I'll use that instead of, some people that are trying to be oil-free, or sometimes they have to because maybe they have a certain disease or ailment. You can use salsa. You can even cook with salsa, or you can cook with tomatoes. I've done that for oil-free cooking if you would like to. I know I used olive oil today, but you can absolutely do that as well. Let's see, I'm going to take a couple of these chips and crunch them on top. Pretty simple. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but just crunch in your hand. Perfect. Okay. And then again, I'm doing a whole food version of this. If you want to add some cheese, be my guest. Some vegan cheese. There's some really great ones out there now. Miyoko's just came out with a shredded. There's Daiya, if you like Daiya. There's Follow Your Heart. There's so many brands. I was thinking of using the Miyoko's block even. I haven't tried to to shred that yet. And then I realized I'm just moved, so I don't have a shredder. So I can't actually show it to you with cheese, but I mean, you could use this or the shreds that you can find at the store, or not at all if you want it to be 100% whole food based. And whole food just means that you're using the whole food. You know, it's an apple, you haven't bought in some salsa, or, you know, it's like the whole food or whole fruit. So I'm going to show you so far how it looks, just to give you a little visual. And I'm going to top it with the dressing. So this is I love making a vegan Thousand Island dressing, and a little bit spicy too. This is actually almost a little thick for me. I'm going to add a little bit of water to it. But all it is Vegenaise, a little bit of organic ketchup, and a little bit of hot sauce. So it's great. It makes it nice and creamy. I'm going to grab just a tiny bit of water, throw it in here just to mix it up. And again, maybe you like yours really, really thick, and that's totally fine. But I like mine just a little bit more fluid. And again, if you don't like spicy, you don't have to add the hot sauce. I don't know who taught me long time ago the spicy Thousand Island, and I loved it. If you want to make it like a real Thousand Island, you can add some relish to it, but I just like it like this. Perfect. And then throw that on my salad. Again, maybe I make like a cool little design. I don't know. You have fun in the kitchen. It's all about having fun, enjoying your food. Let's see, where's my avocado? I'm gonna throw a little avocado on top, and then we'll be good to go. And again, I love seeing color. I love being able to add as many nutrients as possible. Again, be careful when you're slicing your avocado. Let's see. Oh, check out these spoons I have. They're like rainbow colors. Okay, so that sliced avocado will make it look a little pretty, maybe on the side. All right, perfect. All right, so that is our taco salad, and it's absolutely delicious. And again, it's something, it's whole food. It has vitamins, minerals, fiber. We didn't have to sacrifice another living being, for our tasting and health pleasures. And, and I think that's really important. It makes me feel better about myself, but it also makes me feel better about the world and about our earth. And, I understand the passion behind those who are out there fighting on the front lines for animals and for veganism and for making this world a better place. And it really is a really big deal, and we can do it in different ways. Maybe, for a while I felt bad that I wasn't always marching for the animals. I have been to marches, but I get a little bit of anxiety when I'm in large groups, and it can be a lot for me. And also, to be honest, sometimes it's always really sad for me, and I get very emotional. And so I can't always go to these events. So my activism is teaching people how to cook and how to live a healthy life, and making better decisions and living in a more positive way. And I think it's really important that we understand that, and so for a while I was beating myself up about it, that I felt like I wasn't doing enough. And someone gave me that perspective where they said, but Stephanie, you're on the front lines teaching people, how to do this. It's one thing to give the information about what's going on with animals. It's another one to talk about what's going on with the environment, and we've got those friends and activists out there. And then we've got the people that are cooking. I'm trying to think, there's a ton of different roles that we can take. There's even people behind the scenes that are making the products, the food products or swag, like hats and t-shirts. Like, we all have a way of being able to spread the message. And I always say, as kind as possible. A lot of these people I 14 years ago was also unaware of what was going on in the world. So I try to go back to that moment and realize, wow, these people are just like me. Everyone in the world is just like me before I started. They had no idea. They were attached to their food and they didn't want to give it up. And I get it. I didn't either at first. I thought, wait a second, if I go vegan, I can't have my dairy. No. But 14 years later, here I am, and I love having a little snack of Miyoko's cheese or something. Or again, my body has changed, my taste buds have changed, my pH balance has changed, and that makes it more palatable too. Like when I do a juice cleanse or a fast or a detox, just to kind of reset my body. I notice that when I come off the fast, I'm not craving fried foods. I'm not craving sugar and some vegan ice cream. I really want like a raw, crunchy salad, or maybe like some like cabbage or something like that. Like I like crave that kind of stuff because my body has been taking in so many nutrients. It thinks about what it wants, and actually this is making me think too, like a lot of times, women, when we are on our cycle, a lot of times I've heard my clients say, well, when I'm on my cycle, I have to have red meat. And I understand that craving, but it's because the body is craving for iron, and other vitamins and minerals. And so because the first thing, we grow up in a meat and dairy culture, of course, our brain's going to go immediately to meat because that's what we know, and that's what it's used to craving. And so understanding that instead, when someone says that, I'll say, oh, well, instead you should try some lentils or some spinach, especially sautéed spinach. Sautéed spinach does give you more iron. So, I just try to add that in, and I'm giving you these tips just in case, for yourself or when you're talking to somebody else, you can also use those tips. Apricots are also, they have iron. There's fortified foods, of course, too. But I always try to, like I said, I try to do whole food first, but sure, there's fortified cereals and milks, and, so you can get it there too. Let's see, everyone has a different role to play in helping animals. Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, I know this is actually a little heavy, but I've never had an animal in my life, and I adopted my partner's animal 4 years ago and became a dog mom, a fur mom, and it was my first one. And he just passed away, and that was really hard for us. And that's something. It was interesting. It was an interesting process for me. Aside from the grieving, there was this moment that I had. It was definitely a very vegan moment where I thought, I'm so sad that this animal's leaving the earth, that they're leaving me, that they don't get to experience more life. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I can't imagine killing animals and eating them, or kill, firsthand doing that. And I know that there's people in factory farms doing that right now. And it was just a moment of like, wow, I really do love animals, and to the point that I would never want to hurt them or for them to die, especially not in a cruel way. So I don't know, that was just a little side note that it was just an interesting realization to me. And again, like I said, we are always having realizations. A couple years ago, I was going by this huge billboard, and it was a barbecue billboard. It was a billboard marketing for a barbecue spot. And the guy barbecuing was a pig, flipping burgers or flipping whatever he was flipping. And I thought, oh my God, it was the first time in my mind where I realized this stuff is around us all over the place. And to me, I was like, that doesn't even make sense, having the pig flip the burgers. So again, it was just very interesting to me. And I think we're always learning new tools. We're always gathering more information. And so again, just being kind to ourselves, being kind to others, that we've been doing this for years and years and years, and we've seen these marketing ploys for years. And so just trying to do whatever we can to, beat the stigma, or, get through it and help other people and give them tips.
Stephanie, thank you so much. This has been so informative, and I said I wasn't going to do this, but I am getting a little teary-eyed because,
Oh.
you know, we had a talk already. I recently lost a dog friend too, so sending you some love. I know how hard it is, and I really appreciate you taking time, especially at this moment in your life, to join us for this. I'm sorry.
Always, always. I will always do whatever I can to help others and to educate. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning. If I'm depressed, that's what will get me going.
It's true. It's really true. You've got to, when you really put your mind to it, and like utilizing your pain to help others is the best way to deal with grief, for sure. That's for sure. And you made so many interesting points. I had no idea about the serotonin levels coming from your gut. I had no idea. That's such good information.
Yeah, thank you.
And I really, every time I hear the tofu argument about the hormones in tofu, it's like, but you're gonna drink milk that definitely 100% definitely has hormones that will definitely make you grow boobs.
Absolutely.
It always makes me giggle when people are concerned about that while consuming cow's milk. But
Absolutely, me too. And I was so glad when I went to a conference about 5 years ago with a bunch of plant-based doctors, and it happens every year. And I was so stoked to hear a man get on stage and just talk about soy and the benefits of it and how it actually can help us. And so that just validated it for me again, after reading about it.
oh yeah, definitely. And I love when it is like, it's not just women talking about it, it's men talking about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hey, people, wake up. We gotta pay attention to this.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. I really enjoyed your presentation. It's so nice to see you again. That salad looks amazing, and I'm definitely going to try it.
Yeah.
And definitely, everybody, I highly encourage you to follow Stephanie on social media. She's always taking great pictures of her food. She's always offering great tips. And check out her website too, thesuperfoodgoddess.com.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. What an honor to be able, again, to present to some amazing people and alongside some really amazing chefs. I feel very honored.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. And we'll be in touch soon.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
So I wanted to let everybody know a little bit about Chef Nina. If you have seen our recent online events, Chef Nina has done several of them with us. Thank you so much, Nina. She is the director and executive chef for Adventist Health Roseville Campus, Vitalize Cafe, and Culinary Arts Department. At the helm of this dynamic culinary division, Chef Nina continues to be recognized as a leader and a trailblazer in the plant-based culinary movement. Nina keeps her finger on the pulse of wellness trends. She has been an avid proponent of a plant-based diet and a vegan lifestyle for over 20 years. She presents, lectures, and demonstrates on health, nutrition, and whole foods all around the world. You can check out Chef Nina on Instagram at Botanical Chef, and you can also check out the Vitalize Cafe website. It's vitalizecafe.com. That's spelled VITALIZCAFE. Vitalizecafe.com.
Come up.
Oh, hello. It's so nice to see you.
It's always good to see you, Christy, and the whole San Francisco Veg Society team. Thank you for having me and Erin. I wouldn't have missed it for anything. I'm quite hungry though.
I'm starving. I wish I would have eaten before the event started. I'm going to go ahead and pop off now, but I will be right here if you need anything. And everybody, if you have questions for Nina, go ahead and pop them in the chat, and we will address those after her presentation.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here, as I said, and happy Mother Earth Day. I know we celebrate it on April 22nd, but for me, it's celebrated every day. And I hope that by attending this event, you will, if not already, start really thinking about how much we can have an impact on our Earth and ourselves and our sentient beings that we are really, I feel, guardians for. So today, I love spring. It's one of my favorite seasons along with fall, but it's a time for me to really just really spring into things and launch things and execute things I've been thinking about, pondering on through the winter and such, especially during this season, as I keep calling it, that we're in. I've come from under the cloud, guys. I cut off my hair. I'm ready to spring forward, and I'm excited to share the recipes that I'm going to have for you today. So we're going to do a kelp noodle miso ginger sauce with shiitake mushrooms that I have in the dehydrator. I've marinated them. And then we're gonna add some Japanese greens, mustard greens, and bok choy. And it's all live food, meaning I'm not cooking anything over 115 degrees today. And I have eaten a very, what I like to call versus raw, live diet for years, and especially in the spring and summer, it's just natural for me to want to eat more of what I again refer to as raw, live foods, full of enzymes. Once we cook a food over, some will say 106 degrees, definitely over 118 degrees, we've destroyed all the enzymes in the food, and enzymes are in our plant-based kingdom. And they're very important for helping digestion and absorption and just keeping the body working. So they're the worker bees. So we're going to get right into it. And Christy, will you help me and make sure everyone's seeing the foods? I'm going to just angle a little more. Is that a good shot?
Yeah, we're able to see the bowl and all of the smaller bowls around.
Okay, sweet. And just who made the potato salad?
Love
Christy,
it.
I think right before summer, we should have a vegan potato salad contest.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Okay, so I wanted to make sure I put it on my chest so I wouldn't forget to tell you.
I love it.
Go. These are kelp noodles, and they are made from the gel consistency that comes from edible kelp greens that are in the ocean. So I've worked with these for years. I love them. They're basically calorie-free. You can eat them after you rinse them as they are, and they're quite crispy. But when I'm making live food and I want you to experience it where it tastes like I've cooked it, but I haven't, I'm just going to, right as we get started, I'm going to take a tablespoon of baking soda, not baking powder, very important, baking soda, and a tablespoon of lemon juice. And that's going to create just enough of a juice to start softening these. So I want to get started here. You only need to let them soften for about 7 to 10 minutes, but I always taste them. When I was at the Springs in my Living Light culinary program, we always soften these, but the true test over more than time was to taste them. And you can almost tell when they're ready, like, you know, you want your pasta al dente. For most cases, you want your kelp noodles al dente also. So I'm going to let those sit to the side, and I'll remind myself to taste them. I'm going to then rinse them, pat them dry, and then we'll add our sauce. In most cases, I would add the sauce and let it marinate for a few hours, but you can always add the sauce and eat it right away. I just like to make things or have things marinate so it doesn't taste like with anything, whether it's pasta or kelp noodles or any other noodle you might use, that it's really gotten into the ingredient, not that it's sitting on top, because that really has a different effect on people's experience with taste and all. So I'm going to move this to the side here. I'm going to go on and start my miso ginger sauce. Okay, I'm going to start with, you could use water, but I'm using coconut water, and that's about 1/4 cup. I'm then going to use white miso, and you could use chickpea. This is soy. I heard the conversation a bit about soy. I'm not afraid of soy, but I respect those that don't want to have it. But I do like to get organic, and when I can, especially when I'm eating tofu, sprouted. So I just want to start mixing that in. That's my coconut water, my miso. I'm going to add tamari. If tamari is too strong for you, you can go into sun butter that's unsweetened and use that. But I like tamari, and you know that comes from your sesame seeds, and I like all the benefits there. Your seeds, your nuts are giving you, providing so much protein and omega-3 oil. So I want to stir that up. I tend to like to mix things as I go and not have everything added and then try to mix it all. I just like to break it down. I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of fresh squeezed lemon juice. Mix that. And you can just start to see it's a nice creamy consistency that we're getting. You could pop this in your blender, but I find with demonstrations, it's so loud to put things in the blender. And you know, what did we do before we had blenders? We whisked. And if you go back and forth instead of just in a circle, you'll whip your things up more consistently. I am going to add coconut nectar tapped from the coconut tree. So it is raw in nature. You could use agave. I just tend to cook or not cook with coconut nectar versus, for my preference, agave. But everybody has a preference, right? And it's so great we have options to use. Coconut nectar to me is more like a molasses. It's very thick. It's got a delightful taste, sweet and tart. And you know, you want to taste as you go. I've made this so many times, but when you're starting with a new recipe, you should always be tasting as you go so you can alter it. I'll take someone's recipe, I'll make it the way they've said, I'll take note, and then I adjust it for my palate or those I know I cook for. I'm going to take about a teaspoon of tamari. You could use namasoyu if you want gluten-free. I'm going to take a ½ teaspoon of toasted sesame oil. This has been toasted, so again, it's not raw, but I really want that flavor and depth of flavor that the toasted sesame seed oil will give me, different from just regular sesame seed oil. And then I've taken about 1 inch of ginger, fresh ginger, and I've just microplaned that. And I'm going to put that in there. And what an easy sauce. It's wonderful as a dipping sauce. It's wonderful as a dressing. It's wonderful for your noodles. You can do a lot of things with this. So I love typically having it on hand. So, you know, most of what we do in the plant-based world in cooking is more labor intense. So you want to get organized. Sunday, I'll spend the day when I'm at home, not traveling, and just organize what I want to eat through the week. Because most people think, oh, a chef that's in the kitchen 12, 14, sometimes 16 hours, you know, wants to run home and cook for themselves. And that's not the case. I love cooking, but, you know, you have to have life balance, right? And enjoy it. So I organize myself as I do in the kitchen. Mise en place is so important when you take a recipe. Get all your ingredients laid out, and then you're able to work a lot faster than trying to run and grab things as you go and not organize them beforehand. So there's our sauce. Let's check our noodles. And the only real way you're going to check them is by grabbing 1 or 2. They seem about right, but let's see. Still a little crunchy for me. So I'm going to hold off a second because I want them. I'm having this for lunch, probably dinner, and tomorrow for the amount I'm making. What I'm sharing with you will make 4 to 6 servings. So I'm going to just still put this aside. And I'm going to switch over to our next recipe, which is our mango avocado salad. And I really love the salad. Again, it's refreshing, it's crisp. The texture is great. It has heat to it from the serrano peppers, which are rich in vitamin A and vitamin C. They're anti-inflammatory and rich in antioxidants. But serrano are about 5 times hotter than your jalapeno on the Scoville scale of heat of peppers. So you could replace this with jalapenos if you don't like a lot of heat. You would even replace it with bell peppers, which are 0. They're sweet peppers. Your jalapeno are about 5,000 to 1,000 on the Scoville. This is about 5,000. The serrano peppers are about 5,000 to 15,000 in heat. And just for gauging that, your habanero are about 200,000 to 350,000. So those of us that really like a lot of heat, we know we go for those higher Scotch bonnet peppers and such. But I took the seeds out of the serrano and I used 2 medium-sized serrano, and then I just put my Himalayan sea salt that goes into this so I could start curing the serrano peppers, and it really brings out more of the flavor. So you're able to experience the flavor and the spiciness of it, not so much the heat intensity. I mean, they're still hot, but if you take the peppers out of any of your peppers that have heat, it's going to tone the heat down. So I'm going to toss that in there. We are going to add a little bit of sesame seed oil, and we're going to add some lemon juice. So I'm going to put the lemon juice right into my oil. Again, I like to mix things together versus it just balances your flavors more, especially with a salad like this. Just give that a little bit of a stir. I put these in the same bowl, the mango and the cucumbers I cut up. I took 2 mangoes, cubed them, and about a cucumber, Persian cucumbers, so they're smaller, right, than your regular or English cucumbers. And I just cubed those, diced them, and that was about 3 of the Persian. And then we've got our serrano pepper. I'm gonna go ahead and add the sesame seed oil. And if there's anybody out there that doesn't really like to work with expeller pressed oil, that's okay. The fat from the oil, again, for flavor and taste purposes, is really keeping the flavor and carrying it across your tongue when you're eating. So I like to do that. And again, this is a salad you want to make a little bit of ahead of time, and then it's really easy to serve. So we've got that together. And then I'm going to cut my avocados. That's the thing I have to do last because I don't want them to brown, but once they go into the mixture with the lemon juice, that will help to keep them from browning. And I know there's many ways to cut open an avocado. I cut up many of them in the kitchen. So we're working on time and getting things done. We make, oh, there we go. Expensive avocado, a little bit more brown. I'll use it for something else because I don't waste anything, but for purposes of serving you, which I wish I could serve all of you this lunch today, I would not serve you that. So I put it into something else. But when we're making a guacamole, you know, we go through a case of avocados. So it's all about being quick. I do want this cubed, so I'm going to just do it all. And if you just even squeeze to keep your avocado fresh, I always like eat half an avocado in the morning and then come home and eat the other half at night, depending on what I'm having. Keep the seed in the half that you're saving, don't take it out. And that helps to keep it from going so brown. You might get a little bit on the skin, but it really does keep it fresher. Always use sharp knives. That's where most of the accidents happen in the kitchen because somebody's working with a dull knife and then you hone them. So your knives are an extension of your hand, right? I'm just gonna scoop this out. And break that up. Let me put this here. I think you get a better idea of what I'm doing. And I know some people, you know, put their seeds and keep those and roast them and do all kind of things with them. I don't really do that, but there's that option too again. Isn't this looking beautiful? Just break that up. You can also break it up smaller if you like. So here I've used 2 avocados. If you want to make it for 6, you probably want to use 3 mangoes, 3 avocados, 3 serrano or jalapeno peppers. Remember how we spoke, and then just really toss that together. I am going to quickly take some mint. You could use cilantro. I know there are some people that cilantro just tastes like soap to them. So I will use arugula, which is quite peppery. That's nice to pair with this. Or I'll go to mint because it's so clean and crisp and nice on the palate. I just want to chiffonade that very thinly. And it's easy just to lay your leaves on top of each other. And then I'll sprinkle that in. I like a lot of mint, so be mindful of the flavors, but you've got sweet here, you have tart, you have your fats from the avocado, you've got your lemon. So you want to just pair, and then you've got your cucumbers that are very clean. When I cut the cucumbers, I took the seeds out because one thing with your plant-based foods, as you know, there's so much water. You want to make sure you're taking seeds out like your zucchini and your cucumber if you want things to really hold and not become a soup with your items in it. So I'm going to then just add that. Yes, a lot of mint, really good for us. And it tastes good. Let's get everything cleaned up here. And then just toss that together. And we'll hold that. I think my noodles should be ready about now. So I'm gonna set this aside for a moment. Is anybody hungry yet? Christy, are you hungry?
I am starving.
Out of frame, sorry guys, just a minute. I'm going to bring this back in for us. I'm going to just rinse the kelp noodles quickly. And you're just rinsing to get the baking soda taste off. It's really not absorbing into the noodles, so you don't have to worry about having that taste. But I do want to drain off as much of the water because I don't want the water to keep the sauce from penetrating and really coating the noodles nicely, right? Everything is about letting your items, your produce, and your cooking ingredients have time to marinate so you can get that full flavor and not have someone feel like, wow, I just ate a bowl full of water, because plants are full of water, right? And that's one of the things when you're especially cooking raw live, you want to start doing. Sometimes I'll dehydrate things because it's safe. Like I said, I'm not destroying the enzymes just to add more flavor. Like a live lasagna, sometimes people just make it raw, right? With your zucchini and your, you do your feta cheese, whether you make it or buy it now, because so many great things, great products are available. And then they'll do the basil and the marinara, but I'll do that and put it in the dehydrator. And it really tastes like a cooked lasagna. So everything is really in technique and organizing your time so you have enough time to do these things. I will put the marinated shiitake mushroom in the dehydrator anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, unless I want to make a shiitake bacon. And then I'm going to dehydrate those so they get very crisp overnight, 24 hours, 48 hours, depending on your shiitake mushroom, how thin you slice them, and then your marinade, you let that go a couple of hours. So now you can see there's this very pliable, flexible noodle. It even kind of shrinks. If you left this overnight, they'd start to disintegrate because remember, it's a jelly consistency that's been processed, right? You do not want to cook these. People will use hot water. I didn't use hot water. I just used tepid water because it's really the lemon, the acid, and the baking soda. When those two combination chemicals they are in this case, they cook the noodles. So I don't need hot water, and I don't even boil water and then pour hot water on them. I see people do a lot of things that may speed the cooking process a little bit, but I don't even want that kind of heat on this, keeping them as raw as I can when I know this is processed, but they're not cooked. They would disintegrate. They're a gel. So we need to keep them coagulated. So we have this. Let's get our sauce. Now I'm back to that ginger. Oh, it smells so good. The mushroom smells so good. I wish we had Scent-O-Vision so you could all enjoy this with me. And I further wish I could hand it off to you through the computer. So we have that. Now we want to toss and really get them coated. And again, if you let them, sit a while, this would all absorb up. So you do want this much sauce. So you're being very liberal. And you can see very well coated, right? And then let's say we did let that sit an hour or 2 hours. You could then, if you're doing a lunch, if it's for brunch, you're having guests over or it's your family, just get a little prepared. And if you just cut everything in the beginning, then you can see how fast everything else goes to go along with and be ready to serve. So we're pretty good, I believe. I'm talking fast, so I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I love presentation. I mean, that food to me and preparing food, whether live or cooked, I do both. It's all about how I present that to you, because I believe we eat with our eyes first. And I know we do. I know I do. And I really feel like this is my palette. I'm an artist. Sometimes it's black, sometimes it's white, sometimes it's a blue palette. But I'm able then to just paint this beautiful dish that I'm about to prepare to you, present to you, and serve to you in a very nice way. I think also when you start eating a higher plant-based diet, I know when I first started over now 20 years ago, I thought, oh my gosh, I have a voracious appetite. I'm gonna be so hungry. So when I went in, I just ate. But in about a week, literally, I couldn't eat as much. My body was satiated a lot faster than the foods I had been eating that included animal flesh over 20 years ago before I came onto this. And I started a plant-based diet while I was competitively natural bodybuilding, and my body stopped wanting any form of animal flesh or any byproduct. And it was just like that. So it was cold turkey for me. So we've got this going. Now what I want to add to that, someone's got a question?
Yes. Where do you get the metal rings or wherever you're decorating the food with? Yeah.
You can order these, and they're called ring molds on Amazon.
Okay.
You'll find full sets because we use these in pastry. And so I could put these, I made taco cups last night, and I took the tortillas and pressed them in this ring on a sheet pan and then put cheese in them. And so I molded that tortilla into a cup. So I use these for pastries that I make, and then I can use them for, as you're gonna see.
All right.
So I'm taking, of course, I'm taking Japanese mustard greens and bok choy and just hand tearing that. When you cut greens, especially with a steel knife, if you're not using like a ceramic knife, you'll make the greens go off faster. So hand torn like this is really great. And so I'm just tossing the greens, and I'd probably go in for a little more greens than this, but this is gonna serve me like 4 servings, right? And I never really get tired of it. So let me just take this, ooh, look at that, place it down. And if you twist it a little when you're bringing it up, just like spaghetti, I mean, you could use a spoon to help you, right? You want to get that. I can't wait to eat this, guys, in your honor. And then I'm going to take, so that's going to sit because I'm going to pull the shiitake mushroom out of the dehydrator. When I worked at the Pure Food and Wine in New York and the Springs and another facility that I worked at that we did a lot of live food, you know, our dehydrators were our oven. We didn't have any conventional cooking oven. So I had to get used to working in a kitchen where there were conventional ovens again. Again, I want to, and I'm just really doing this. I'm going to eat more than this after we're finished, I promise you. But I do like for presentation. And, you know, when you go to fine dining restaurants, you are going to get more, especially more French style cuisine, even in the plant-based world. It's going to be a little bit more portion. And portion food or portion food is good also. So let's get that out of the way. I'm going to enjoy that salad for a few days. Let me get our mushrooms for us. And mushrooms or anything that you dehydrate, I probably started with like what seemed 2 times as much. But when you dehydrate, you're pulling all the moisture out. Dehydrating is a way of preserving foods that was used, you know, sun-dried, that kind of thing when we think of our dried fruits. And this has no sulfur or anything like that, any additives that we may want to stay away from. But be mindful of the amount you make and what you want. So I've just had these in for about 2 hours. I don't want them crisp like my shiitake bacon, or you could, but I want them more meaty. So I used a marinade of tamari, coconut nectar, a little maple, because I like that flavor, more for the flavor. I'm going to use less maple because I don't want as much sugar. I did used a little mirin and lemon juice. And I'm just going to top our miso noodles. Oh my goodness. On top there. So if I was trying to make this for 4 people, as much as I love mushrooms, and I love them a lot, especially your shiitake, your lion's mane, your hen of the woods, your maitake, so good for nutrients and density, and can really have the texture of almost any meat, animal flesh you could think of when you learn to cook and properly marinate them. So often I would never serve you, I wouldn't, a portobello mushroom with no marinade or flavor infused in it. Mushrooms are like sponges. And so you want to give that flavor. Otherwise people are like, oh, this is so tasteless. Even if you're using salt and pepper, you do want a little acid, so that helps to start cooking, right? Our salt and our acids are going to start cooking foods, especially in the raw live world. So we do cook things. We do start to curate things and make the taste and work with the enzymes in the food to cook. So we have to be mindful. It's not just heat that we cook with. And when we do use heat, we start to break down the foods, their nutrient value for sure. So I'm gonna put this back in. And I'm so used to the hum of my dehydrator, you know, it could be going all night. I have also a press, but I'm gonna freehand it here. And it's gonna fall, that's okay. If I pressed it more, it wouldn't. That's gonna hold. And then I love working with edible flowers because they're also a nice way to pair. They have different flavors, sweeter flavors. And it's kind of odor to just put a whole flower on your plate. You really wanna work with the petals. I'm gonna use some marigold on our salad. Push that there. And this is what I would be serving you as we celebrate Earth Day and eating a plant-based diet to have an impact on our earth and restoring it. So we have here, and I present to you our miso ginger kelp noodles with marinated shiitake mushroom and Japanese mustard greens and our bok choy, and then our avocado mango salad with the cucumbers, the serrano pepper, and all. And I hope you enjoy that. And I'll present and share these recipes with Christy so she can put it up after the program so that you can try it yourself. And then any questions you have for me, I'm here for you.
Wow, Nina, that is absolutely gorgeous. Oh my goodness.
That Chrissy, your is ready. I don't know how soon you can get here. Maybe I can get DoorDash to get here and send it to you and Aaron.
Get it DoorDashed over to Oakland, and Aaron and I will share it.
I'll send you both your own. I can share that for you.
Wow.
And I say I had a surprise, right?
Yes.
Well, chefs always like presenting something. So after you eat this meal and in a live, raw environment, I would really present to you the dessert first, because the concept is you want to get the sugar meal in your body first. So then when you eat the other items, the sugar isn't caught behind, because these sugars are natural. There's no synthetic sugar, so it's going to break down fast, but you want that to lead. So, I mean, I've never had anybody complain about me serving dessert first in the menu course. So let me grab it for you. And I did make two, Christy, for you and Aaron. And what I did here, I just made I took frozen pineapple, whether you do it fresh or buy it frozen, it's organic. And I took coconut meat and I blended that together with a little lime juice till it was the consistency of a parfait, very creamy. Or you could leave some of the chunks of the pineapple, but I wanted it more parfait-like. I put blueberries, organic blueberries. I'm mindful of the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15, but our berries, you really want to get organic because the skins are so thin. You don't want to be taking any potential pesticides or fungicides or toxicity that the body would take up. And then I just chopped up pineapple, more blueberries, and a little bit of lime. So that's that. And then we always just want to finish it off for you. I've got some desiccated coconut. And this is so easy to do. I mean, I always keep frozen fruits in my freezer because I'm making a lot of smoothies, right? And I have coconut meat. I use that a lot. I can make like ravioli coconut based. So for my ravioli in the live world, right, where I'm not cooking anything, so I'm not using a traditional pasta. I can make coconut noodles just like I did with the kelp noodles. So I could use actually coconut noodles. I would marinate the coconut noodles and then I would dehydrate them. And I could replace that noodle and I rinse them. So you're not getting that sweet taste. And I alter that with my marinade so it balances because coconut is sweeter. And then I also use or do a pad thai salad and I use coconut noodles and people are always blown away. But there I present to you our spring forward live food. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, that looks so good. Oh,
Thank
wow.
Did we get any good questions?
I think everybody's stunned into silence.
Love it.
Yay! A round of applause.
Thank you. Let me sit it here in view so you guys can just decide. But isn't this, it's satiating. It's very refreshing. You could do this with any fruit you have. I did pineapple. I could do mango. I could do blueberry. I could do strawberry, right? So, and it could be if I froze it and put it in made this mixture and then put it in my ice cream maker, I could put it through that and it would then be a sorbet. I mean, wow. a sherbet. Because how often do we go to restaurants and they either give us, or I've experienced, I either get a bowl of fruit for dessert, and fruit is fruit. It's not dessert to me. Don't label it dessert as a lazy way not to give me something so easy to make. I can make this parfait, which I've done, which I do, and I'll take that same mixture. A lot of times when I cooked private chef wise and families had kids, and then they loved it because I'd have them help me and we'd make this sherbet, or I'd make ice cream and I just use coconut cream or coconut milk. In this sense, I actually used the coconut meat and then just the frozen fruit. So it's endless. You could do a key lime flavor and then have your fruits. You can add your fruits as a garnish and call it a dessert. But don't give me a bowl of fruit and tell me that's dessert. Tell me it's a bowl of fruit. All right, I've gotten over my angst. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. This is so much fun. And I just want to like eat all of that right now. It is so beautiful and so colorful.
Here we go. I needed to add this and I knew it was sitting in my face. I want you to see the difference in what it does when you see this prepared like this. If my petals will come in, they want to run away. But I just want to show you quickly what, okay, come with me, stop it. The difference when you really take the time to create art for people to want to eat. And that just, okay, I'm gonna fight with that. That just makes a world of difference in just how it looks, but it tastes, you've got a little bit of mint there. I had pulled the buds at the top because I just wanted a little bit. And it's such a nice balance. Now you do have to make sure you serve someone a spoon that will go all the way down so you can bring it up, but you could also serve it in a bowl. So there is what I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
Oh, that was so awesome, Nina. I always love watching your presentations. I always learn so much. You do so many exciting foods for us, and I love working with you. Thank you so much.
As I love working with you and the San Francisco Veg Fest, the best.
Woo woo! I hope we get to work together again soon. And you have really inspired me. I'm like, okay, I took the potato salad idea and it's been germinating in here. And now I'm thinking maybe we ought to do like a 4th of July cookout kind of situation.
Yeah. Salad, there's American, there's my mom's recipe that I deconstructed. Let's go, guys.
I love it. I love it.
Everybody that's here that wants to see the potato contest cook-off, put it in the comments so we can see, to prove to Christy you'll show up for it.
Yeah, totally. And feel free, even after the event, and for folks who are watching the recording on YouTube, if you want to see a vegan potato salad showdown, let me know. Just, you can email me directly at events@sfvs.org. I think it would be a blast. I think that would be so much fun because potato salad it's the food of the gods, really. It's such good food. I love potato salad. I could eat it every day of my life.
That's the kind of thing you want to be able to present to people that are transitioning, right? Take those favorite foods that people have, deconstruct them, and let them know, oh my gosh, I just didn't know. Because most often people just don't know how powerful and how delicious plant-based vegan food can be. I've learned that through my whole life. Most of the people I prepare food for are not vegan. They're carnivores and they're like, what the heck do you think's going on? But when I hit them with memory and when they were a kid, the foods they grew up on, that's when we get each other. So we must lead with compassion. I heard, someone saying, well, I'm not out there protesting, but I protest. I'm for the animals' welfare and our planet every day as I cook. So I'm an activist on the plate, and that's very powerful to me. And when people allow me to cook for them, I take it very seriously. So, I love doing this, but I'm always challenging myself to present you with something better. So thank you.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. And that's really, it's always leading with compassion. What is that? There's the River Phoenix quote, run to the rescue with compassion and peace will follow. Such a great thing to always keep in mind.
And we have to be mindful of that in the climate we're in today, all of us together, to be
That's
kind
true.
And have a lot of compassion for each other.
And that is something that I hope is coming back. I hope everybody treating each other compassionately and starting from a place of kindness is really the best way forward, and really the only way that we're going to make the world a better place.
Truly, for the animals, but for us humans.
Exactly. And for the environment too.
Yes, yes. All right, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Nina, and we'll talk soon.
All right, see you soon.
Sending you lots of love.
Thanks so much, Nina.
Thank you, bye.
And I just wanted to let everybody know a little bit about our next presenter. Chef Reina Montenegro was born and raised in the Philippines. She moved to the Bay Area in 1997. Reina is self-taught, and her culinary career as a personal chef and caterer started in 2012. In 2016, she opened Nick's Kitchen in Daly City, which became the very first vegan Filipino restaurant on the peninsula. Reina then opened 2 more popular vegan Filipino restaurants in the Bay Area, Nick's on Grand in 2018 in South San Francisco, and Nick's on Mission in 2019 in San Francisco. Last year, she came out from behind the Nick's brand and pivoted her business into an online storefront called Chef Reina. And earlier this month, on April 8th, she opened a brick and mortar Chef Reina restaurant in Brisbane, California. So congratulations, Reina. And she is one of the few restaurants offering this brand new vegan pork substitute called Omni Pork. So it was just added to her menu on Earth Day. So if you get a chance, get down to Brisbane, try out some of that new vegan pork substitute. It's supposed to be amazing. I haven't had it yet. I'm looking forward to having it. And I'm going to go ahead and cue up Reina's presentation. Sit tight with me just a moment, folks, and I'll have that right up for you.
Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Reina from Chef Reina, formerly known as Nick's on Grand and Nick's on Mission. Today we're going to make a pasta dish with cream sauce, a vegan cream sauce. So I'm going to teach you how to do it. It's so easy, you can do it at home. Let's begin. So set your pan on medium-high heat. We're going to add some olive oil. Then we're going to brown some garlic, some onion, and some bell pepper. So while that browns up, let me explain to you guys a few things. I soaked some cashews in water, like 1/4 cup of cashews and 1/4 of a cup of water. I soak it about 4 hours. And I added about a teaspoon of capers. And then I put it in the blender 3 times so it becomes creamy and smooth. And this is what it's going to look like after. You basically made your vegan cream by using cashews. So while this browns, we're gonna add in our soy sauce. So easy, guys. And once that soy sauce gets mixed in, we're gonna add our cashew milk. Cashew cream or cashew milk. Add that in. I've also cooked some linguine. You can use the white one or the green one. They're sold everywhere. So once this thing boils up, we're gonna add our pasta. Just let it sit there until they all melt together. And eventually the sauce is going to get thick. Wait for that to happen here. About 2 minutes. when it thickens up like this, I'm going to add our lime juice, just half a lime. Let's finish it off with some black pepper. It smells so yummy. So yeah, it's pretty much done. The only thing that will take a long time here is your pasta when you pre-cook it. Okay, that's pretty much done. We're going to plate it. We're going to garnish it. It's so good. Let's see how creamy it is without any animal products. 100% vegan, plant-based. I'm going to add some cilantro on top and a slice of lime. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can still get our very popular vegan Filipino dishes at chefreina.com. You can order online for delivery or pickup. Or you can give us a call at 650-989-8606. Happy eating. So good. Try this at home. Bye.
Didn't that cream sauce look absolutely amazing? So it's like a healthy Alfredo that you can make at home. And like Reina said, it's really the only time consuming part of that is the soaking of the cashews and the and cooking the pasta, because once all that's done, you can just throw it all in the skillet and it's ready in just a few minutes, which is amazing. Great for evening dinner after you've been at work all day. Great for a dinner if you're kind of in the rush. You can always make the cashew cream in advance. And if you have any questions for Reina, you can reach out to her on social media at Chef Reina, or you can check out her website at chefreina.com. And if you've never had her food, it's truly amazing. If you can't make it down to Brisbane, you can also get her frozen care packages at the Butcher's Son in Berkeley. So those are available there for you. I highly recommend checking it out. Her food is outstanding. We love Chef Reina. She's amazing. So yes, any questions for Chef Reina, you can go ahead and reach out to her on social media. A very special thank you to all of our chefs today. What amazing, amazing folks we get to work with. I am just literally flabbergasted every single time we put on an event, every time we're working with these amazing folks. I just really love working with them. Thank you to Tamiko Garner. You can see her, you can find her on Instagram at the Plant-Based Vegan Sista. And Jillian Love, you can find her on Instagram at Chef Jillian Love. And then Nina Curtis, Stephanie Bosco, she's at the Superfood Goddess, Stephanie Bosco at the Superfood Goddess on Instagram. And Nina Curtis is at Botanical Chef on Instagram. And then Chef Reina is at chef.reina on Instagram. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you to our supporters. Thank you to Erin for your co-hostingness. Co-hostess with the mostest. I couldn't do it without you.
Thank you, Christy.
So much. And thank you everybody for joining us today. And I definitely think everybody should check out all of these amazing chefs on Instagram. They have some fantastic photos of their food. They have some great ideas for substituting, changing things up, getting out of your humdrum. We all get caught in a rut sometimes where we're just eating the same thing over and over and over again. So I find it really inspiring to just kind of check out the vegan chefs on Instagram. It's always fun to see what's going on there. And also there's a lot of vegan chefs on YouTube now. So that's a good resource as well. And thanks to everybody for joining us today. And for all of our folks who are current SFVS members, you will be receiving an invitation for the members mixer that is happening on May 16th. If you are not sure about your membership status, feel free to reach out to Melinda Ham. She is our membership director. She can be reached at membership@sfvs.org. Thank you so much for joining us today, everybody. This has been a lot of fun, and I will get this edited and saved and posted on YouTube soon, and I'll send you all the links so that you can share it with family and friends.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a
Take
great
care,
day.
everyone.
Bye. Happy Earth Day.